At this point, this is just a running gag. How is that impossible? How do I forget that every other week? I think at this point it is every week. It's crazy how often I forget about that. But I also kind of forgot what day it is because everything is very confusing. Maybe at some point the green screen should just be canon. The green screen should just be my natural environment. Honestly, I don't really have much time. I realized that it's kinda late. To be fair, I couldn't start earlier. I've just finished eating, so I couldn't really start earlier, but I only have like 2 hours, maybe 2.5. Because then it's like 9 PM for me, which means I have to take a shower, and then I have like 2 hours or so or 3 before I have to go to bed. Because I have to wake up tomorrow because I have work. On a Friday. Which is not that bad. I also have work on Saturday. That's a cardinal sin in my book. To be fair, I can't complain too much. I had Monday and Tuesday off, which, I mean, in retrospect, I wouldn't have mind if I worked Tuesday and, you know, just had Saturday off instead. To be fair, Saturday is like half a day. It's like 4 hours. It's gonna be over immediately, so whatever. Just means I have less sleep. Which sucks too, but could be worse. Also, something I wanted to do, I did not make as much progress with as I wanted to earlier. So I'll have to finish that tomorrow, and if I don't finish it, I also have to do that on Saturday. Everything is not going the way I wanted to. But we're now here. And gonna play a game in a bit. I do not know anything about that game. I just wanna say that. Like, I literally just went on Steam, clicked through some of the games in the mythology category, which, if you did not notice, you can search for mythology games on Steam and find a lot of weird things. There was actually one game that I found that looked really cool because it looked like Slay the Spire. It was basically Slay the Spire, but like Asian mythology based, which was cool, but I played so much Slay the Spire 2 that I'm probably gonna be disappointed by that game. Also, I wanted to take a game that has something to do with a mythology that I know more about, because I don't know anything about Eastern mythology, so that would have not been very interesting. Well, it would be very interesting to learn about it, but I'm pretty sure the game would not teach me anything about it. We have a game here that I have no idea if it's gonna be good or bad. I hope it's at least good enough to entertain me for a bit, because I paid like $7 for that, and I'm already... Well, actually, $7 is nothing. I can afford that. That's fine. I can do that every now and then. I actually had another game prepared, but I thought that is a bit too random. So I'm probably gonna do that next time on a different platform. Just I was like, I can't do that game today. It would be really awkward. Assuming that this is like a one-time thing that I do on YouTube. Oh yeah, the reason I'm doing it is because I have no idea what else to do. There is some things planned, but can't be done yet. Not even sure if we can do that next week already. So next week I'll have to find something else. But there's a lot of things that I could do. I just didn't have... Oh, I guess I would have at the time. I just had other things on my mind, so didn't watch any movie or anything to talk about for an hour. So I think complaining about the Odyssey for another hour or two would not be interesting for everyone that is not me, because I would be very interested in doing that. And actually, there is something I wanted to talk about. It has to do with the Odyssey. The 2026 one, not the original one. If it was the original one, it would be good. But I watched a video earlier, and it was mostly about the ending of the Odyssey. Which is to say, I'm gonna talk about the ending of the Odyssey. So if you haven't watched that movie yet, just don't. Or do and then complain with me. Actually, yeah, if you do that, too many people watch that movie. They may actually think it's good. Actually, I even hear that they fake the score on some websites to make it look good. But maybe fake is the wrong word. I've heard that they deliberately mostly take the score from, let's call them trusted users, which are positive. So on some websites it apparently got like a rating of that is close to the Lord of the Rings, which I think is a crime, but okay. So, oh yeah, the actual reviews are like 50-50 more or less. I think it's slightly in the positive, which is fine for me. Like if it's like 56% positive, I feel like that's probably, actually it's still less than I would have expected. I would have probably expected it to be like somewhere in like 60-70%, which is probably still not good. Like I would say if more than 1/3 of people leave the cinema disappointed and would not recommend the movie, then you effed up. We're probably still gonna make enough money. Actually, that movie was hella expensive, I think, so you'll see. I mean, it probably already made more money than it cost, and they probably benefited or profited greatly from it, but we'll see. It's just... Anyway, it was mainly about the ending, because it compared the ending to the Lord of the Rings, which I have to say, I've never watched Lord of the Rings. Everything I say is just what I know about it and what I've heard in that video. And yes, it is on my list. I really want to watch Lord of the Rings one day. Might as well talk about it on stream after I did. It's just very hard to watch. It's just a very long movies. Also, we apparently have the DVD somewhere, but we don't know where. So that's the main reason why I didn't watch it, because we couldn't find it. And I think by now we found it again, but I never got around to watch it. Either way, more importantly, what happened... By the way, I have a new desk, so there are now cables in places where there were no cables before, and lags in places where lags haven't been before, so I'm still sometimes confused by what I feel under the table. So if I'm distracted, that's the most likely reason. So what happened in the Odyssey at the end is that, and it is very awkward, Odysseus and Penelope just left Ithaca and sailed to the west. And yeah, that's basically it. I can't really compare the way they did it in the video to The Lord of the Rings, because I never watched it, and I actually don't know about the ending of it. Like, I know like the underlying story and stuff, but I do not know about the ending. But it is idea-wise very similar. Like, what happens in the Odyssey, like the original Odyssey, is that it's basically like a Deus Ex Machina, which I think they mentioned that like in a bad way in that video, which is kind of weird. I feel like, or what I remember, and that's from my studies, is, was it from my studies or was it from something else? It's might have been in school or something. Like, it wasn't a, I want to say professional context, but the moment I mentioned school, I'm like, it might just be wrong again. Anyway, is that a Deus Ex Machina in the old times was not a bad thing, because it's mostly like, you know, the gods or some higher power just making it so that the right thing happens. Like something that doesn't make sense, that there's no acting character, let's put it like that. Just a plot narrative, like the plot just forces it, kind of thing. It's a bit hard to describe, but it is not necessarily a negative thing. But what happens in the Odyssey is that Athena helps Odysseus when he fights against all the suitors, and she blinds them, she distracts them, which allows Odysseus, who is not a fighter, to then kill them one by one. Which is the only reason why he can even take them all on, because he's not Achilles. He cannot just fight a whole army on his own. But the weird thing is in the movie, and I have never thought about that, and since earlier I've been thinking about it non-stop basically, that does not happen in the movie. Because, as we all know, they are very, well, not they, Nolan is very allergic to fantasy and everything that is more than just an illusion of a goddess. So Athena is basically just, you know, before the fight, being like, you can do that, Odysseus, and then just disappears forever, never to be seen again by Odysseus, because no one else has ever seen her. And basically, it's just, what do they compare it to? Odysseus turns into Jason Bourne. Like, he's just all of a sudden like a superhuman, defeating all those people for no apparent reason. And it makes even less sense, especially because Nolan keeps talking about how they reduced the fantasy elements and the monsters and made everything more realistic. Which, why do you make a fantasy story realistic? If you want a documentary, why not take an actual war that actually happens? There are more than enough of those. I'm pretty sure that the Persian War, or like Sparta against Persia, which we already have movies on, but that one did actually happen from what I remember. So why not make a movie about that if you want realistic stuff? But it's also, there's stuff like, I think King Leonidas had also really cool story. Like, there's so many actual things that have no fantasy in it that you could make a realistic movie about. But no, you had to choose like the most fantastic, most important epic in human history just to make it bad. I'm getting angry again. But it just makes no sense, because he talks about how he wanted it realistic and all that. But the ending is everything but realistic. It's a happy ending. Odysseus gets exactly what he wants. He gets his beloved wife. He, you know, he's free. He doesn't have to worry anymore. He made it home, which, ironically, he made it home just to leave again, which is kind of stupid. And not what happens on the original one, because he stays in Ithaca. So they compared it to what Tolkien did. And the video was really nice in the way that it said that it failed. Like, Nolan apparently really doesn't understand Homer. I almost called him Homer. I hate it. In the video, they also called him Homer. His name is Homer. It's not the Simpsons guy. And I keep losing track because I'm making fun of this movie. Because the whole idea is that Odysseus is not a fighter, right? Odysseus is more like a tactician, right? Odysseus understands the idea that a single man can defeat an army if he, you know, is a strong fighter and gets like the high ground, right? If he gets to a narrow spot where they have to fight him one by one, then even a single man can defeat an army like that. But it's about the situation. It's about the right strategy. It's about the location. Like, it's not just become a superhuman and then you can massacre. That's what I was trying to use. A whole army. That's just not Odysseus. Odysseus is smart, which is also something they really failed to show in the movie for like 90% of it, because there he was like a freaking idiot. But I feel like I cannot talk about that video that I watched because I keep getting distracted. But the thing is that Tolkien did understand. Tolkien understood the vision of Homer. Granted, I feel like just every time I hear anything about Tolkien, it feels like you really feel that he genuinely loved those stories and the mythology, and also had a deep respect for it. He did not try to change it. He referenced it in his work because he loved it so much, and focused a lot on creating a world that is on par with that. And it worked. I would even go as far and say Tolkien probably was one of the main, or is one of the main reasons why we do have modern fantasy. Because a lot of things wouldn't have happened without him and, you know, children book authors in that time. Which I have a video talking about that. Because without Tolkien, we might not have dragons today. Which is crazy to think about. So you genuinely feel that he had a lot of love for those stories. And also read them. He really, really loved them. And if you feel that. The way he references those, but also understands that the audience today is not the same as back then. So you can't do the same thing. So it works really well. I wish I would have remembered the video and I could link it now. Because I feel like the video was really interesting. Comparing how Tolkien managed to do the end. While also, you know, outsmarting, I guess, Homer in a way, because he did not copy it. Like, he copied, like, the basic idea of the Odyssey of you have to grow up and fight your own battles and not, you know, believe in someone else to do it for you. But he built upon that, like, I don't want to say improved it, maybe modernized it, which is something that Nolan just failed to do. His cheap way out is just to make Odysseus into a superhuman for like 20 minutes. I don't know how long the scene was. And just make him kill everyone without any help from the gods, which is just not... It just fails the whole point. Especially because he was so insistent on we wanted to make it realistic and keep fantasy to a minimum. And then he makes like, oh yeah, but here's superhuman Odysseus who can fight a whole army on his own for some reason. It's weird. And there's also something that I did not think about, that I only started thinking about when I saw the video earlier, is that the ending completely fails to finish the point they were doing all the time. Especially when people say, oh yeah, the flashbacks, they're like his PTSD, but they stop all of a sudden. And you can't just be like, oh yeah, they stopped because he's now in Ithaca and he's happy. That's not how it works. Usually. Not an expert, but you can't say on one hand, oh yeah, this is his PTSD and his regrets, and then the moment he's home and killed a bunch of suitors, all of a sudden that is all fine. But for some reason, Odysseus, who the whole movie is depicted as miserable, driven by his regrets and by his sins, and it's just, you know, all that, depressed, sad, has PTSD, doesn't recover from the war, and all of a sudden he gets home, is with his wife and his son, and all of a sudden everything is happy and he's just fine. At that point, I'm like, why did you not just let him die? Like, the movie had a scene where, you know, he could have just died there. Maybe that would have been even better. Because I feel like the way they portrayed him, it might have well been better for him. Because he apparently, in this movie, tried to multiple times sabotage everything to just not return home or straight up die. So, maybe just do that for the movie, it would have been better. But the ending they gave him was just like, you know, the opposite of what they were showing the whole time. He doesn't want to return home. He thinks he should be punished for his sins and all that. And in the end, oh no, now I'm home. Now I'm with my wife. Now everything is fine. I'm just gonna sail over there, bury my soldiers, and, you know, respect them, and then everything is okay. Nothing bad is gonna happen. Such a stupid ending, and I've not even thought about that. Maybe because at that point I just didn't think about the movie anymore. I also want to say I haven't thought about the movie since the stream was it last week? I think it was last week. And I tried not to. I really tried not to, because then I would just constantly just want to complain about it and all the things I don't like about it. So I tried not to think about it, but I don't know. I got the video was on my recommended. And it was interesting because it was a comparison that I've not seen anywhere. And it's also about the ending that I also feel like no one's talked about. So I just was curious, watched that, and now I have more things to complain. Well, thanks. But it also increased my respect for Tolkien and his work and how how just respectful he treated the, let's say, the story that inspired him and whose idea or underlying, how to put it, structure, underlying journey, he'd somewhat copied, but he did it in a respectful, referencing and a modern way. Well, Nolan just failed to even recreate the source material, which is just sad. Also, because I've been playing The Witcher 3 finally, well, replaying, I should say. I've already played it like years ago. I think like I for fun loaded up my old save because I realized, oh wait, they're old saves for some reason, and I think they were from like 2017 or so, so it's very late, and it's just kind of weird to replay a game that I played like 9 years ago because I keep remembering all that stuff. But the point I want to make is, I came across a quote in The Witcher, which is very interesting, and I keep thinking about it, and it's basically, when do fairy tales become reality? When you start believing them. I feel like that describes those old mythologies, like stories like the Odyssey and all the other things. It describes them very well. Because for the people back then, they believed those stories, and for them, they were real. And now, having the Odyssey 2026 made by Christopher Nolan, and just seeing how it, in my opinion, kind of disrespects those people's beliefs. Because those people, maybe not all of them, but they genuinely believed the stories. They genuinely believed in their gods. Which, still, today, people still genuinely believe in gods, just saying. So it just disrespects what those people believe. And just modernizes it for no reason. Because we don't need that. Most people who do like the old stories, they just don't like it. Full stop, they just don't like what happened to it. And I feel like the only people that really enjoy it are those that have no interest in the source material or don't know about it. Because those people can enjoy the movie without the burden of that, I guess. So maybe in this case, ignorance is a bliss, but it's still sad. Talked about that way longer than I wanted. I want to also play the game, so gonna start that. We're just gonna find out if this is any good. I have to say that the last 2 games I played, I just realized this is only the 3rd time I'm doing this. Which is kind of sad. Oh my god, this is insanely loud. But like the last game we played, I don't remember what was it. Oh yeah, Stray God, that one was really good. It was like a musical, visual novel kind of thing, which is, it works surprisingly well, and I feel like their modern depictions of stuff was actually quite good. I really like that. Kinda still wanna continue Stray Gods. Not sure if I'm gonna do it on stream, but I kinda still wanna play that more, because I really like that one. That was really good. The one I played first was Your Turn, I think it was called, which I also think was good. It's just, it had very big, somewhat empty levels sometimes. Well, I didn't play them all, but some of them were kind of big and empty, and that was not my favorite part. It had definitely some downside. The good thing about it is completely hand-drawn, so it's a beautiful game. And I feel like the boss battles, which I would say is like the selling point of that game, were also really good. But here's game number 3. It's Gods and Gore. It apparently came out like yesterday. wait, let me check. I think it came out yesterday. Because there was one game that I saw on Steam that came out like last week or so. And I wanted to put it on my list, but I apparently forgot, so I can't find it anymore. Yeah, this game came out on the 5th of August. It has 9 reviews. Are they positive? Oh, I guess it's not enough for Steam to tell me. So this game came out yesterday. It has 9 reviews, and I have no idea how good it is, and I'm really curious. Select a god. Different gods have different abilities. Map layouts. Wait, my table's kinda high. For a second, I thought my table is not working anymore. I can adjust the height of my table now, which is, for me, incredible. It's so much more chill to sit now. I'm not forced into shrimp pose anymore. I forgot the background music is still going. So let me turn it off. Click on choose to proceed. What if I don't wanna? I do not have a choice. I already like this, because I think this is straight up just taken from the statues, which is cool. Apollo. Are there only 3 gods? I mean, the game. No way, the game came out yesterday. It's not like. Is it early access? No, it's not early access, right? Like, only 3 gods when you have the full pantheon and they don't even have Hades or Poseidon. That is kind of sad. I mean, I understand Apollo. Actually, no, I understand Athena. I think, like, instead of Apollo, it should be Artemis. Maybe. Rain of arrows. That should definitely be Artemis. Rain golden arrows in an area. That sounds great. Gravel tower that cannot be built on. Is that supposed to be an upside? That sounds like a downside. Additional enemies. That also doesn't sound good. Hawk women. You mean harpies? Flying raiders only towers can stop. God power. Holy beam. I see. Fire holy beam that pierces everything in its path. Cool. Probably won't get to that because I don't know if one game takes like half an hour to win, then maybe we can actually get to that. Tamar, fields that increase enemy movement speed. Is there a downside? Additional enemies, hawkwomen and necromancers that summon skeleton hordes. Oh yeah, the famous necromancers from Greek mythology. Additional enemies, none. Standard invasion force. Timur, forest, helps block the enemy's path. But probably also my path. Lightning strike. Also, why is Zeus weaker than freaking Athena? Athena's shooting lasers. Zeus is like thunder. Oh, lightning. Thunder doesn't hurt you. Unless it's right next to you, then it's super loud and probably rupturing your ears. All enemies on screen with lightning. Oh, all enemies. Oh, that sounds good. Okay, sure. We choose. Your creators. Golden Eagle, Minotaur. I don't think any of those created me. These are your ancient creatures. Oh. I'm apparently also illiterate. That does not read your creator, that reads your creature. But Golden Eagle is nothing compared to the Minotaur. It's a freaking Minotaur. These are your ancient creatures. I thought we are in the ancient times. How can they be my ancient creatures if we are? Well, I just realized I have no water. And I'm really thirsty. To use as needed in your one. Creatures keep the level between games. What? That's broken. Wait, oh, this has meta progression. Okay. So it's also roguelike. So it's vital to level them up by using them during the game. I do have the option to not use them? I kind of want to take the Minotaur because he's in the background here. Also, the Minotaur freaking rules. Click continue to proceed. Oh, that's not a choice. I just get them. That's just... Okay. Choose an artifact. Artifacts have a large impact on the game. Is it roguelike? You'll get more artifacts as you progress. Also, I just realized up here I have 15... No, wait, those are points, right? It's like a currency, right? This is the cost. I don't have 10 lightning. 15 lightning and 10 eagles. I think that's the cost. Pick an artifact, then click confirm. Beware's breath. Frost Tower deals 30% more damage. You had me at Frost Tower. Pluto's Steed. Instantly gain 3 mine cards. There's also a card game? Wait, is this... a deck builder roguelike tower defense game? I would say that's new, but it isn't. I've seen a bunch of those already. I feel like they're very hit or miss, because some of them are really fun, but others are kinda annoying because they have too many elements. Like, building your deck, placing your towers, and all the other stuff that sometimes synergizes really well. There was one game that did it really well. I don't remember what was that. Let me check. That I really liked. I haven't played it in a while, but it was really good. Don't know why I talk in past tense. It is still really good. Do I even have that installed still? Shit, I don't... Let me check. Because I really like that game, so I want to at least find out its name. So it can be commanded properly. English hard. Was it Nordhold? It was Nordhold. Nordhold is really good and really fun. It's not a deck builder though, but it is a roguelike tower defense. I couldn't remember tower defense. It's like a roguelike tower defense, and it is really good. I really liked it. What was one of those games that I could spend hours in, and then realize, shit, I spent hours in it. But it's the towers have 15% more range. Nice. Cool. Promethean gift reaches 100 Phoenix Wave. Instant. Nice. I like my speed. Use cards to defend your base. Can I maybe have like basic... Can I... Okay, I can move with WASD. Ah, yes, we are in the sky on a oddly shaped, not oddly, like an oddly square platform surrounded by walls with forest and sulfur? I have no idea what it is. And stones. And for some reason a temple out of marble. You know, if you look at this, it looks kind of legit. Then you zoom out and it looks like, huh? Where are we? Click your Archer Tower card to use. Huh, I realize a problem with my artifact. I do not have any frost towers. Place tower near your temple to protect it. You know, not knowing where they're gonna come from, it's kinda making it hard to place. Put it in that corner. Oh my god, it gets its own walls! Enemies can come from any direction each way. Use walls to block enemy paths. Click the wall button at the top screen. Okay. Place 8 walls around the temple, but tower cannot reach. I'm not sure if 8 walls are enough. I am really not sure if 8 walls are gonna be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not gonna cover everything. No, that buildings also block. Wait, what if I would have placed it here? Would it have covered enough and the walls would have been... I feel like I misplaced it. Now that buildings also block paths, so you don't need walls up against... Need walls up against buildings. Why do you automatically build the walls around my building then? Use the other card in your hand as needed. Read the description to know what each card does. Why did you place them? Well, make me place those then, if I did not need to. Oh, I assume that's gold. Because I have gold here in the corner. That makes sense. Also, I like that there's nothing in this corner. See, like this corner here, there's nothing. Which is good. Because you're not missing anything. You can't see the card here. But when I hover over it, you see the icon, which should be enough. You can place cards of the same type on top of each other to level up buildings. You can sell a card by selecting it and clicking the sell button on the left side of the screen. Why would I do that? What does money even do in this game? You can see building statistics by clicking on it, and it will spine those buildings off me. Once you're done playing your cards, click Start Wave. Oh, there it is. By the way, I cannot move with right click. I can only move by putting my mouse on the edge of the screen or using WASD, and I don't like that. I am so used from basically every 4X game that I play that I can move the map with either left or right mouse button. So not being able to do that is... What happens if I upgrade it? I guess its range went up by like 0.3, which is 10%. Which means now it's almost covering enough to cover what the walls don't cover. I should have probably really placed it there. But I didn't know that. I was thinking like I want to have more outside so that I can hit more people. Not... There's no downside. Well, there's technically a downside because I don't have... Spawn Minotaur. Jason Gladiator Pit +2 Warrior. Jason... I don't have a Gladiator Pit. Heavy damage, slow attack. Well, I guess I'm kind of forced to do this. Just so that every side is protected. If an enemy comes here, it's probably gonna destroy the wall and then just walk in. Or you have no range whatsoever. It didn't mention it, by the way. It said heavy damage and slow attack, not no range at all. Not sure what I'm gonna do with these. I assume it would be best to put one here and then put the gladiator pit here. I don't have a gladiator pit though, so I'm not sure if they do anything. They exist, I guess. Can I spawn a Minotaur? Can only summon Doing Wave. Oh, I summoned them Doing Wave. Repair temple, delete building. Why does it cost? No, wait, it's a plus. Never mind. I get money for destroying stuff. I could place more walls. We just die. Let's just start the wave. Wave, you can use abilities with buttons at the top of the... I could have maybe used the card now that I think about it. Oh, wait. There are buttons now. I mean, it is kind of cute. You earn gold, and your creatures earn experience each wave if you summon them. Artifacts, mines, and some cards grant you additional gold. Click continue to proceed. No creatures be earned this wave. Or get 2 random cards. So, one thing. If you give me a choice, and multiple ways, like if you give me the choice between picking specific cards or get completely random cards, the amount of random cards I get should be higher than the ones I can choose from. Because I have no reason to take 2 random cards. Because if I take a card that does nothing from those 2, or nothing from my particular build, from those, or get it randomly here, makes no difference. But getting a card that does literally nothing for me from here, or choosing any card from here that does something, even if it's just a tiny bit like this, and 15% of the current gold. Not really good, because I don't have that much. But it's probably better than getting, you know, another house. Because the houses apparently don't do anything for me right now. Also, I just realized I don't think I can place something here now that I think about it. Can you place on those? I didn't think about that, but can you place? No, you have to. No, wait. Oh. Can I not place anything here? If I can't place it here, then I kind of messed this up already. But you know what I mean? Like, there's just no reason I should take that. Unless all of these cards are really garbage, but this can also happen here. So unless those 3 cards are all completely useless, I just don't have a reason to take that. But I feel like if they're completely random, it should at least benefit me in some way to take this. Like, what do I get from doing that? Not really anything. I get the same amount, just that I don't know what I get, so I can't even prepare for it. And here I have generates gold. I assume those are gold tiles. And then I can just use that to multiply my gold. Maybe damage very slow. I have to take a catapult onto mine. Oh, and now there's a shop. Spawn warriors each wave. Heck yeah. Gold is used also to build walls, summon creatures, and use it. Why do I have to pay my creatures? Creature spawn cost minus 15. I like that. Wall factory. Wall cost minus 15%. Do you think this can go into the negative? And, you know, like, they pay me for building walls? I would assume it's capped. I definitely want this. Refresh shop 200 gold. Yeah, sure. New shop in 4 waves. Oh. But then I don't really need to bother. Now I'm curious. Okay, I do keep the card that I did not use, so that's good. Okay, I can build here. I can just not build right next to the core. So I can do this. And now from each of these buildings, I get 2 more. So I get 7 warriors per wave, which is not bad. Question is, can I can do that. They are completely unprotected though. So I assume I want to protect them in some way, like this. One thing that bothers me is if I click on the card, it does not show me the range. I don't need to know the exact damage or the exact speed. That is fine. But not knowing the range... Wait, no, I know the... It did show the range, didn't it? No, I'm confused. The question is, can I now build walls? I could build walls behind those. I don't think it's necessary because it's probably good. But I can do this, really, because I don't have anything here for now. I want to summon a creature, so I might as well give it double XP. Do this, and then I summon both of them. Minotaur just chilling there. The eagle is doing things. Can I attack the eagle? Probably only if they're ranged, right? Lightning is a bit overkill. I wish it would tell me where they're coming from so they can... My eagle just disappeared? Oh, this is kind of awkward. I really need a tower here. Wait, actually keeping this open might be a good idea. Because it makes them all come here. They apparently don't bother with the walls, they just try to immediately go to the core. So if I just kill them here and build like a labyrinth, that might be the strategy. And we also have the Minotaur. So building a labyrinth is lore accurate. There's, by the way, apparently no lore in this game, right? I like how the Golden Eagle gets experience. The Minotaur doesn't, because you just existed. Adjacent, I read that as ancient towers again. Pounder causes bleeding to all nearby enemies. I'm interested in that. Take those 2. And again, I have no reason to take the random cards because it doesn't benefit me in any way. Those cards, all of those, are kinda useful. So why would I take a random card that I am like... Could be anything. I want the wall factory, because I have a vision, okay? I want to build a labyrinth. Or maze, whatever. Which one was the one that... There was a difference between a labyrinth and a maze. I keep forgetting which one is which. Although smart as I am, I completely forgot to turn this on. Yeah, the box looks still awkward. I just realized it is called the Pounder. I don't know, I would like to place more stuff. Like, I would like to place a house here if possible. Is this a tower? I can only assume this is a tower. I would place it here. Maybe. Because everyone would come past here. Ideally I can place stuffs in a way that they have to go around this. So it's important to do that. I had a wall factory I can just place wherever. They're not gonna attack it, right? So I can literally just place it outside. Well, I could put it like here randomly. But I could still come from that side. Like, I still have to do a lot of work. Oh, I could place it here, but then I can't place a house here later. I could just do this, I guess. Oh, every time I summon them it costs more the next time. Oh, that's an info that I would have liked to have earlier. I would have not wasted them then. I basically spawned the Minotaur for no reason. Wait, this time they're going straight. No, okay, they're trying. Okay. Oh my warrior. I have to say this game has... It's charming, let's put it like that. Adjacent mines give more gold. Nice. I do have a mine. Never mind. I already forgot about it. And wall factory. Heck yeah. Creature spawn cost. I take that. I have to admit, the game is very charming. Like, the UI is very basic, and the look is also very basic. It is kind of cute, though. If there's one thing that bothers me, the enemies just spawn randomly on any side, which makes this kind of awkward. I think in tower defense I still prefer it if there is like a path. There was a game, I don't remember what it was called, but it had like dynamic path. Like there was like a basic path that the enemies would walk, but you could put your towers or your units rather anywhere, right? As long as there was always a path from the starting point to your core, you could just place them wherever you want. So if you place them in, like on the path that the enemies would walk, it would adjust the path to make them go out, like around it. So it would just dynamically adjust the path that the monsters would take to always go the shortest path. But also, you know, you could block it. So you could basically build it yourself. I think that's way better than this, where they just spawn randomly outside, and unless you know, make like an open path for them to take, they'd probably just attack the walls. By the way, I have no health. I cannot click on them or anything. So, Also, I didn't know about this building existing, so I did not plan to have more than one of them adjacent. I assume adjacent also means diagonal, by the way, now that I think about it. At least for this one, I think. This one, I think, showed me that one, that it was, right? This one is just apparently also do it to the diagonals, which is awkward. Because it's not consistent. Like, if you say adjacent, I don't know if it means like this way adjacent or that way adjacent. Which is important when I buy them and I don't know them yet. Creature spawn. I could place creature spawn just here. Could also place it here. And then place something here soon. Just to cut that part off. So that they are forced to come through here, which means they get attacked by this. But not by that tower, which is a problem, I realized. But by that tower, so, Wall factory. Yeah, I could place it here now and they cannot come through here. So I assume they would just always walk around here. See what I mean? Like, if they would give me, like, a path that the enemy takes, and just adjust that dynamically, I think I would prefer that. That's a lot of enemies. You also can't adjust how they attack, which I feel like at this age is like basic. Like every tower defense game that I've played in the last years has the same thing that it allows you to set enemies, not enemies, your towers to attack an enemy that is either in the front or attack the one that is the latest one, the one of the most health. Like they usually have different settings. Doesn't look like I have that here. Creature HP plus 15%. Adjacent towers damage. Ooh, power gone. Take that. Creature spawn, sure. I need to make the creature spawn cheaper again because I wasted one and now they cost double for what they originally did. The tower damage. The thing is, I still don't know if this is a tower. I wish it would just say. I assume it is a tower. I assume towers are everything that does damage. So I just hope that increases its damage. And if we can place someone here, maybe, and here one, and here one, and that would all benefit. By the way, this is also adjacent towers, but it's only the 4 tiles here. But this one is adjacent mines and showed me blue icons all around. Inconsistent, not good. Me not like. Also, when I play it, that doesn't show it. Ah, no, it shows it. By the way, I don't know how this works. Where are you going? What's your mission? What are you do? What did he do? What was his plan? Oh, that spawned a Minotaur. I'm kind of worried. Oh my god, that's spawning a Minotaur. We're getting them, we're getting them. 20 XP for the Minotaur, I have no idea what it means. Base, mines and buildings. I assume with buildings they mean that, and not every building. If every building would give me like more gold, that would be kind of weird. Bolt tower, chain lightning between enemies. Now we're talking. I still do not have a frost tower that would do anything with my Boreas breath. But how was I supposed to know that? Also something that I think I could criticize on the game is usually when you play one of these kind of games for the first time, the first one is at least the first choices a set, right? Like what I know or hear from Slay the Spire 2, that everyone who plays the game gets the same exact... No, I think it's exactly the same seed on their first one. Which is meant to be like a tutorial one. Like, it just gives you consistency and I assume also a bit of better luck so that you have time to understand the game. It's still totally possible to lose the first one. I've seen very good people fail that. I think I myself did not fail the first one, but a lot of other ones. So it is kind of awkward that this game doesn't seem to do that because it gave me a choice of an artifact that just literally does nothing to me. Like, it just does nothing for me because I do not get any frost towers. So that's a bit weird. I would just take those two. Nemesis Curse. I do like those artworks though. I am really curious if they... Like, are they just assets that you can buy? Or did they actually put effort into, you know, making them themselves based on pictures and, you know, actual statues that exist? Because if they made them based on those, that's insane. That is really cool then. Enemies health next wave. That's only for one wave though. I think those things are better late game. Right now I don't really have a big problem. Kinda twisted in getting that. Maybe also getting another catapult. For now. Choose an artifact. Okay, I assume every 5 waves I get an artifact. First towers have double range but 20% less attack speed. Huh. doesn't do anything for me. Each wave gain 5% of current gold. Mines produce no gold. That is a death sentence for me. Because I invested in mines already. Cyclops Stone. Catapult towers deal 15% more damage. I would say yes. Also, Cyclops Stone doing something that's related to the myth is good design. It's kind of sad that I have to, you know, compliment the game for basic human understanding. I already forgot what it does. It just does more damage for them, right? But it's good enough. I mean, put it here, and it covers a big area. Gets buffed by this one too. Now I could do this, for example. Is that white? This is the white tile, right? Yeah, because we cannot block all paths to the depth. Oh, it's even intended that you have one open side. Okay, okay. By the way, I would like to put an archer tower here, maybe. I would also like to replace this one with another archer tower. But I guess... No, actually, I think I can sell them, yeah. Could delete it. And put an archery tower here. Either way, I would like to have them on the corners just to cover everything. But it's cool. But it brings me back to what I said. I think if they would just make it in... By the way, by placing this here, I already failed this. Like, now I have to force them to come to... Ideally, start here. Come to here. Go this way. Go around here and then here. But yeah, as I said, it would be cooler though than to have like a set path, like a set spawning point. Let's say here's the spawning point. And my base is roughly here. And they just show me like a line going from here to my temple. Right? It's basically just a straight line. Well, not straight, like this, you know. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And it just goes straightly to my temple. And then you can place stuff and it would adjust to show you the path. Just because they spawning randomly does nothing, really. Because I have to assume that worst case they spawn exactly here, right? They spawn exactly here and just march straight to the temple. That's what I'm building for. Because if they spawn here, I don't need to care, because my my towers are probably killing them before they even reach the start of the path that I'm building. So everything that doesn't spawn like right here just doesn't matter unless it's insanely healthy or whatever. Just for I don't like that they make paths though to connect to each other. That's kind of cool. Now I could place it here, yes. Which means now I get 9 per wave, which is cool. I get a lot of soldiers now. Why are you moving? Well, what is your mission? I don't get what you're doing. Why are you standing still and you are moving? Wait, they're walking to... Why are they going towards the enemy and those are just chilling? Okay, the lightning is a bit too small. I can barely see that. Like, you see something happening, but it's super thin and hard to see. Now I took damage because those idiots didn't move early enough. Range guard. I just realized the name. Swift. Okay, now I have a question. Why are some of them green? Is it like rarity? They have a few map buttons. That's already more than some other games have. I should take the catapult because I have the artifact. By the way, that's also a factor. Like, if there are different rarities, like green is uncommon and the white thingy is common cards, taking random is even worse. Because technically you could get 2 common cards, and you could have the choice of 1 higher rarity card here, which would then immediately be better than what you get from here. Maybe if this would... Maybe not give me 3 cards, but maybe give me like guaranteed 1 uncommon or whatever is the highest that you have here, so that it is worth to take it. Because right now this is just never worth taking. The moment they're like purple cards here, which we have seen already, right? Which I assume is just higher rarity than green. taking the purple card is probably better in any way than taking a random card that might just be 2 white cards. Because the 2 white cards are probably never as strong as the 1 purple card might be, even if I can't really make good use of it. Like, it's just a completely dead card, maybe. But I just don't see a reason to take this. Take the plazas. Interesting. Now, should I increase the range of those two? The problem is I can't place anything else adjacent to this one because then it can't do its thing anymore. I can't place it here. If I place it here, I cannot make a path here anymore, so I could place it here and then I have to go further on. Also, another thing is I want to save up money so I can start blocking off everything here and force them to this path. Like, the moment this is the starting point of the path into my area, I think it really starts. But as long as it is super open here, I can't really do much. I think it's the best to put it here, maybe, and then maybe a catapult here. Slowly making like this bigger. It's okay, I guess. I think it's fine. I have to admit, it is kind of intriguing. Like, it's somewhat fun, even though it's like not the best tower defense game I've ever played. It kind of lacks lore. I don't really feel like I have chosen Zeus as my god, but I don't feel like I've seen that in any way. Know what I mean? Like, sure, they gave me the terrain, which are the trees. They block enemies, but they're so far off that it probably won't matter until like wave 100 or so. So it doesn't really do much for me right now. The walls do not block off buildings, right? So I could place walls around. Oh my god, okay, yeah. Why would I choose the random cards when I have this? God power cost. Ooh, I like that because God power might be like next wave earns 7 times gold. There is no reason not to take this. And I think I should also take the bathhouse just because I already have the gladiators. There's probably different units for it. I would like to take the god power, but I don't think I can. Next wave on 7 times gold would be really nice because it might be enough gold to wall off this at least. To force them through this gap at least. Would already be, because right now if they come from this path, my defense is a bit weaker. So, gonna use that. The bathhouse. I don't want to place it here because I want to place something that boosts the mine maybe. So I guess I'm just gonna place it here and then we maybe build walls here. If it wouldn't cost that much money, I would just build them all the way here. Just to make it look better. It would be nice if building walls right on a building would be free. Just for the aesthetic. Because let's be honest, if I build a wall here, it does literally nothing, right? Because walls also don't have HP or anything, because they apparently don't get attacked, like can't be attacked, they don't block off anything, so just placing them right next on a building should be free. So that it looks aesthetically pleasing. Because I can build walls here for now. And it will look ass. But maybe at some point I make so much money that I can just place them, who knows. I feel like I'm overthinking already. I probably don't need to think that much about it. That is really fast. The units seem kind of random, by the way. Okay, spawn those two. Go eagle! They can indeed attack my eagle. They leveled up! Nice! I don't know what that means at all. They got experience. Oh my god, Midas Touch gave me almost 400 gold. That's insane. Yeah, those two. I feel like not taking the catapult would just be stupid, considering the catapult gets boosted. I have so much gold. Okay, we're building walls. Don't know why that immediately connected that. This might be a waste of money, I know, but it makes it look more beautiful, and that is all I care about. Also, it helps me build the path. Know what I mean? Oh, that's gonna bother me. Okay. But if I have this path, which I said is like my baseline, it forces every enemy to go past this, to go past my catapults, which are, you know, really strong. Could even build a catapult here, and it would benefit from the range. Which might not be a bad idea. I could really just put that down here. There's no reason not to. Because I think the best is to make them maybe go here around this to this, then there. Like get the most out of it, maybe. Another thing that I just realized, the fact that you have to build mines on gold is completely irrelevant because they're not getting attacked. It's not like you have to protect them, which is the reason why I built this here, because I thought you have to protect them, right? Not saying that this is bad, because for some reason I managed to build it in exactly far enough that it covers the whole area to my main zone. So if an enemy has to walk through here, they at least get some attacks from that. So it's not completely useless, but the fact that those buildings don't get attacked at all is like, okay, why not just allow me to build them anywhere then, if they apparently don't matter? I guess that way you can't use them to, you know, as obstacles, but see, I did that here. So, and because at some point you probably have a maze that covers half the map, you're probably gonna include them, so I don't know, it's not super necessary. I think I'm gonna build it here. Does it make sense? Yeah, because then I build a building here and a building here, and they're forced to go around that. Don't know what I wanna build here though. But it forces them to go around here. Then we build one here, and then we have this nice path. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I could just build. No, that doesn't work because then it blocks the path. Oh, I go here. Oh shit! I messed that up. Yeah, I messed that up. I can't build here. Well, I guess I just build buildings here then. It's fine. I messed it up a bit. And here again, it would really help if there was a line just showing me where they have to go. For all I care, start the line here then. You know, the point where you know they have to pass through. Just to show me how they're gonna walk. Just, why make everything more complicated? Or probably we could take some resources to, you know, program a line like that. It also always makes me think they're gonna, you know, attack the walls because I run straight to them, just to then be like, oh, there's a wall, I guess I'm gonna go around. Yeah, this looks well already. What's the range on this? I also think that the range should not be light blue. It's really hard to see on the white. Like, this could have been green or something, like some color that is very distinctive from the background. Yeah, the moment I set this up with the walls, it was basically done for them. I just can't do anything. But Lister. Frost Tower slows enemies in area. Oh, nice. I'll take the ballista. Creature spawn. Yeah, I don't really care. Okay, Frost Tower would probably be really good here. Because it makes them slower in the area that matters the most. Well, in theory I want to slow them down around this building. But I didn't know what the Frost Tower does until I got one. There was a 50% chance that it does something completely different. Now, would it be worth to place the ballista here? No, I think it would be better to place it here, right? Because then it would hit those. I could also just place it here. No, I think here should maybe be some... Was it a good idea here? I mean, if I place it here, I can't place anything adjacent to it. Here, I can at least still buff it from one side. Yeah, I guess this is better. What does my first tower do? First deal 30% more damage. But first towers don't deal damage. Oh, they do. I feel like this is complete scam. I feel like I got completely scammed. Every tower I have. What's the most basic one? I completely forgot, by the way, that you can upgrade towers. Yeah, this one is level 2. I completely forgot about that mechanic. You know, I want that tower. Yeah, even the archer tower has 14 damage. Which immediately out-damages my frost tower. So 30% more damage on a, like, lowest damage tower is not really worth it. If it would increase the slow, that would be good. Or give a chance of freezing enemies or something like that. That would be really nice, but that's not the case. I also feel like the eagle is just in general help fight enemies. The forest doesn't really do anything. I don't really get that. And the Minotaur feels like, oh, I need some last line of defense real quick. I have to admit though, this is the most pleasing to watch because you really see something. The others have either tiny projectiles or really hard to see projectiles, but this is really satisfying to watch. Whenever it comes down, it's just cool to see. Okay, some enemies are getting really tanky, which is fine because I have the gladiators to block them off. And I like that the gladiators block them exactly there. Bank. 1 gold per enemy killed nearby. Heck yes. And I got my last house. I could take another gladiator pit and put it like here, which would benefit from 2 of the houses at least. But I think I want to have the house at least. Another bank and another frost tower. I think I take the frost tower and the bank. Placing a bunch of frost towers is probably gonna be really good. Oh, that was wave 10. Average favor. All towers do 5% more damage. Not bad. Because it just works on every tower. Archer tower attack 15% faster. I don't know. The archer tower is not part of my main path right now, so don't care. Shop cards cost 50% less. Mines were doing 50% less. I don't want to reduce the money I make with the mines. Because the shop prices are not that high. At least for now. So I take this. Just straight up more power. Now we place the house here. So it gives this to that building. I should have maybe really not built the wall factory here. Might have been a bad idea. But I guess I can at least place another gladiator here and then I get... And I get a decent amount. Like I get 11 here. I would get 4 less from that one, which is 7. It would be 18. It's not bad. The question is, what do I do with those? Why do they have an aura around them? Because it only counts to enemies killed nearby. I did not read that properly. Okay. So basically, place them here. I would say towards the end, like here would be good, but I can't place it here anymore. So could maybe place it here, but I feel like enemies don't die here. There's just not a tower here that does damage, and I feel like some enemies might die here on the path, especially when we, you know, let's say I build a tower here, I build a tower here. Like the moment I improve this and make the whole path longer, it's likely that enemies might die here. Especially if an enemy dies right here now in front of this, which might become a tower. Maybe not the first tower. I think the first tower is better here. Let's say I place a tower here. I just realized. I placed this tower next to this wall. But the towers create walls around them. Which means I basically built this wall. Although I could have gotten it for free, same as this wall. And they do not refund the wall that they replace for free. That's something to keep in mind. Like, technically, every tower I place around here comes with a wall attached to it, but because there's already a wall, I basically paid for a wall that I could have gotten for free then. So I guess you really just want to use walls to protect paths or parts of the area that you do not cover with buildings, specifically towers. Wish I would have realized that earlier. Granted, I needed those walls. That it's not like I could have not done. If I wouldn't have built these walls, I would probably have taken way more damage already. Also, I do not think I can win more than one. I'm not even sure if we can do a full one. Depends on how long it's gonna take. Because I just realized we have already played for like an hour, and I'm in like wave 11. Also, did I say this game is on sale? It's like 35% off. So instead of paying, I think 11 euro, I only paid like 7 something. I'm not sure if I would have bought that for 10 plus. Like, it's fun, it's cute, but it's kind of bare bone. But I feel like I've played tower defense roguelike games, even tower defense roguelike card deck builder, which is a really interesting mix. It's not that common. Like, I feel like I've played games that cost around the same, but play a bit better. Not saying this is bad, but I feel like I have seen better for approximately the same price. Even though if the other one had nothing to do with mythology, which is maybe the selling point for this one. Maybe you just wanna build a little town in that has, by the way, no pathways, so you wouldn't play this to build a city. It's not a city builder really. Or at least the city building aspect is not that good. But maybe you want to play this just for the mythology connection, which also is basically just having a minotaur and a eagle and having Zeus as my god that I don't see in any way unless I click this button, which I haven't had to do yet. By the way, spacebar is also starting the wave. I wanted to test that. It does not pause though, which is interesting. What is that? I wish I could click on enemies and get some info on them so that I would know what I'm dealing with. In general, I would like to know what I have to deal with next wave. Because I basically have no idea if there's any, you know, weakness that I have. Maybe, you know, maybe bleeding works better on some enemies, but worse on others. I feel like I just don't have any tooltips at all. I might have to use the thunder. Actually, I just want to use it. Cool. Okay, that's cute. Apparently didn't do anything against those. I really can't tell you, but I also just realized I have no way of telling which tower is doing how much damage. Yeah, there's no way to tell. Like, I can't tell you which tower is effective, which one is placing really well. This game feels really bare bone. The more I play and the more I think about features that I've seen in other similar games, the more I feel like, yeah, this is kinda basic. Not necessarily bad, but basic. I mean, to be fair, I would probably never found this game if I wouldn't have randomly looked to the mythology category on Steam. Do I just want to place this randomly? if I don't place it around it, it doesn't do anything, so... How much is this giving me income? 22 gold per wave. I don't know. I'm gonna do the bolt tower here. I think that's a good choice to have here. I should maybe... Because placing anything here will not do anything for me immediately. This is more like, oh, I need more damage here or something. While placing more here, making this path longer, is probably benefiting me more right now. Okay, I cannot summon the Minotaur with one. So I guess I have to click that. I could maybe heal my wait, we can heal the temple in the middle of this. So I just healed it to full. Wait, this is always a full heal? Because then I wasted 10 gold just to test that. Well, at least I know now. Yeah, there's a bunch of enemies dying here. Mostly the weaker ones, but it's still free money. What I also could do is wait until there's a lot of enemies here and then use the power. That would probably kill most of them right there, and then I would get money. I'm thinking about spawning the Minotaur. But I have so many gladiators that I don't think I need to do that right now. I want to increase the health of the gladiators. The gladiators are not really there for damage, they're more like holding enemies in place until my towers killed them. Yeah, that's what they're really good for. Just being a flash wall, I guess. Wall cost. That's the question. At which point do I just not need more walls, right? Like, would it benefit me in any way to build more walls now? Maybe, but I don't necessarily get anything for placing walls because... Well, if I place them so that they have to go here now, next to those, maybe, but... Doing this... Oh, your range is really... Well, see, it's not worth to place it here for me now. So this is something that I would say, place it here and it would just help. Because it would do damage here, where I don't have damage right now. Other than this tower. Well, this one also hits them here, but you know what I mean. I feel like gold is not really necessary unless you're heavily focusing on those. But if you don't use them all the time and the costs don't really increase that fast, then I don't really have anything from gold, because the shop only refreshes every four waves. And if I don't, like, if I want to refresh it immediately, that costs honestly a bit too much. Like, why would I pay 200 to refresh the shop, and I can also just not buy anything and probably get by? If I really desperately need something, maybe, but I don't feel like I'm at that point. I think we're chill. Yeah, the gladiators are just tanking. Did I attack my temple? No, they didn't. I wish I had like a number of remaining gladiators. No, like just a number here. If that had like a... How many do I get? 11. Like it had an 11 in it, and every time someone dies it goes down by 1. Destroy building, +1 level to all adjacent. That is cool. Oh, this reminds me of... 9 Kings. This reminds me of 9 Kings. Because 9 Kings is a similar game. That is also like a... Is it a roguelike? It is basically the same thing as this. But... You only have... Oh god, I think initially 9, like 3 times 3 fields to place stuff on. You can also place them, you know, multiple on the same to level them up to level 3. This is very similar to 9 Kings, but 9 Kings feels better because the king you choose has unique cards, which the gods might also have unique cards, I can't tell yet. But they have like a core mechanic that a lot of the cards are based on. Also, you can choose cards from other kings, and you have to fight other kings. So 9 kings just feels better. Like a lot of things here, like the game is not bad. It lacks what I would say would be a selling point other than the mythology part. I take Wound. I think I have like a building or two that I could remove, like this tower, for example. I could maybe do power guard. Actually, I want to check if I can upgrade my mines. I haven't thought of that yet. If I take my mine and I place it, that does work. Did it just straight up double the gold I get from that? Why did I place... I can probably also upgrade those. Oh my god, they're level 1. I can upgrade those too. Now the question is... And that's actually really important. If it doubles what this gives me, then it makes no difference, right? Because plus 15 on 2 sides, or 1 times plus 30, is the same. But if it gives me like 40% when upgraded, then that would have been better. Shit, I did not think about that. Actually, I could... Wait, that means I can upgrade this too. That means I can upgrade this too. Why did I not do all those? Upgrading this would have been way better. Because it would maybe double the warriors I get. Or increase their stats. Which is probably better than another 7. Actually, I don't know. It kind of depends on what happens. Like, if it doubles that and it would have been 22, then yes, that would be better. But I like, by the way, that the blood is still here. So you can kind of see where most things died. I think that's a kind of nice way to show, hey, a lot of enemies died here. This is where you're the strongest, and maybe you want to increase your strength where there's no blood, because apparently there are no enemies dying here. So, kind of funny. One thing I might want to do, and this question is, I can upgrade the houses. I kind of want to remove this, because I'm not going to build walls anytime soon, and I do have enough gold to pay a bigger price for them. Problem is, does it benefit me to... Yes? Oh, okay, now I have to select. I was very confused. Oh, it's also diagonal. Yeah, then this might be work, because I want to place a damaging tower here. But this is awkward. Now I have a hole here. What does this do now? It gives it 4 more. So this one gives me 9 now. This upgraded one, 18. It was 11 before. Each of those is 4 more, so I guess it doubled the base. I don't know what it does to the stats of the warrior, the gladiators though, so they don't look different, but well, not sure what I expected in that regard. This is 15, so after this we get another artifact and the shop is refreshed. But we have a lot of money, so we can go shopping. Nice, enemies died here, so we got double money. The only weak enemies dying there, but that's good enough. This tower is way too slow, by the way. Or for some reason doesn't freeze all enemies, because some enemies don't get frozen or slowed down, though they're right next to other enemies. Does this not hit everything? I thought this would hit every enemy around it, but apparently not. This works really well. I think they also got higher stats, because now they're killing those enemies that killed them before. Granted, there's also more fighting now, so maybe it's just that. But it feels like they're tankier. But they actually pushed them back, so they did feel stronger. I'm gonna do another thruster, not ballistic capital hold, because I have this thing. Now, new shop, wound. We'd take that, because I can basically remove everything that has... Oh, I'm not sure if I want to. I think I take the power gun, but the others I don't. Actually, I can upgrade one of my houses, never mind, I take that too. But you know what I mean? Now for the next 5 waves, I don't have a reason to buy any card there because there's just nothing. First towers have a double range, but 20% less attack speed. Their attack speed is already too low. Skiller's Reach. Nice. Catapult towers have 20% more attack speed, but 50% less range. Vulcan Short Fuse. I have a feeling that my catapults and my frost towers that I both buffed are kinda like an anti-synergy because one is fire, the other one is ice. Ballista towers have double range, but 30% less damage. I see how double range could be good. So effectively, depending on how your path is, let's assume that by doubling the range, they attack the enemies twice as often. That would be an effective damage increase by 50%, by 100%. Well, let's say they attack like 50% more often. So they would do 50% more damage compared to the not having this. Which would, you know, mean that 30% less damage when they attack 50% more often would still be a damage increase. But it depends on how I place my towers. If the extra range does not really change anything, and this is not good because it makes them weaker. Having less range on my catapults is not bad, because the way I build my path, most of my catapults only hit the enemies basically right in front of them anyway. So having more attack speed would probably be good. Because if we check this one, for example, it doesn't hit here anymore, I think. It hit like up to here. But is that really bad? Not really, because the range is still really decent. Maybe because I've increased range. Yeah, I've increased range. So it doesn't really... Like, everything it hit out of here did not matter at all, because most of the time enemies were not here. So this is completely fine. Where's my other wall maker? Or wall factory? I'm gonna give up the wall factory to upgrade all those buildings. It's gonna be really huge, I guess. Is level 3 the max, by the way? I wonder. Creature spawn costs 30% less. Holy shit, wait, that is huge. That is really huge, it's really good. This might be an argument for doing it that way, like placing more buildings instead of upgrading them. Because if you get Ruin, which doesn't seem super rare, at least for now, and then you can upgrade 2 of those, that's basically a free one, yeah. And if I would have a third one of the same building here, it would be 2 for free. Right? Because if I had only one tile that was level 3, it would only go to level 4. Which would then mean it just gets, you know, one, in this case, like 50% on top. While if I have 3 of them around and they all get 1 level, it would be 45% in total. So that's maybe an argument to make for that. Increase the damage, yeah, this is 30% now, okay. So I could upgrade this house, I probably should do that. This gives me 16 now and it's 22, holy shit, that's a lot of warriors. Let's upgrade this catapult. Okay, this catapult used to hit like up to here, so noticeable, but the fact that they're now mostly fighting here apparently means that this catapult is still gonna be doing well. And then maybe upgrade you. Do you attack faster now? Attack speed 0.38 and this one. I just realized I thought that a low number might be good. I'm confused. Wait. Oh no, now I get it. It does 0.38 attacks per second, so basically it attacks like every 3 seconds. That's what it means. But I was thinking of this is the delay between attacks. So there's 38 seconds between attacks. Which makes no sense now that I think about it. Oh well. Enemy HP increase. Oh! When is that 1-1, by the way? Like, it doesn't seem like there's an ending. Unless it's like, survive 100 waves, because I'm not gonna do that. takes way too long. And I feel like I'm already at the point where I'm like getting bored. Like, I'm not at a point where I need to increase the path or make it bigger. Just having this is enough. I just need to upgrade my towers. Because I have decent AoE damage, I have slowdown, I have a huge line of defense at the end. And I haven't even taken a single point of damage since that one time. So the moment I start taking damage, I feel like, okay, now maybe I should make this longer. Maybe, you know, get more defense or something. But right now, I just use my cards because there's no reason not to. But I don't need to. Like, I'm winning this like easily. There is no problem at all. At this point, I'm making enough money that I would actually refresh the shop. I take the Swift Garden and this and this. You know what I mean? It costs 20, so at this point I make so much money with this, which is now gonna go up again. Now I make 65 gold. So next round, the money I spent on buying those 3 cards is already returned to my pocket. I think it's better to... Oh my god. Also, bad choice of color. I can barely see it behind me, but I see it on top of my hair. Like, this yellow on this white is super hard to read for me. I know what it does because I can check those up here. The UI in general is really tiny. Is there a setting for that? Solution is correct. Key bindings. What abilities are? Toggle walls. Fast forward. Oh, period is fast forward. Slowdowns come. Okay. Wait, well, toggle walls. What does it mean? Okay. I don't know why they call it toggle walls. I thought that it makes the walls go, you know, disappear. Like, allows you to see through them without having to hover over it. But no, it doesn't. This was attack speed. I only have 1 attack speed so far. Okay. I want to fill this with something. It is awkward to have that hole. Let's make it fast. You know, I didn't have high expectations for this game. I was kind of like, oh yeah, this looks kind of fun. Let's test this. The mythology is back. Kind of nice. I feel like... Actually, you could basically replace most of the stuff here with normal towers. Like generic towers, and would not be a difference. Those are all very generic, honestly. The only thing is, I have a Minotaur, which... I'm gonna take the random one, just to see what it does. Catapult range gun, yeah. It's hit or miss. This was a good one, giving me exactly what I wanted, but... It might as well also not have done that. So, it's hit or miss. But the fact that I, you know, Minotaur and the Eagle, which are like the fantastic mythical beings that I can summon, they only stay for so long and they only do so much. I can summon that. It does something, but it's not like super crazy. And it's not like my towers are any monsters. So, like if there was like a Minotaur, not Minotaur, like a Cyclops standing on like the catapult and throwing rocks, that'd be cool. Then again, I feel like I haven't seen the late game buildings yet. Maybe there's like golden buildings and they have like something to do with monsters or something like that. I just hope that's the case, because right now I feel like, that's okay. But the buildings are not... Okay, level 3 is the max. That's good to know. 30 gold. Wait. That doesn't make sense. Didn't this one give me 22 gold per wave on... No, on level... 1 it did that. On level 1 did that. Never mind, never mind. I was like, didn't that give me 20 on level 1, on level 2? But no, it gave me 40 on level 2. So this is completely fine. There's not really much to do. I just place my cards, which is not much thinking. I feel like the gladiators AI is a bit broken because sometimes they just storm towards the enemy and sometimes they don't. So I don't get when that happens. Or why that happens. The game is also very easy, which might just be because we're playing on like base difficulty. But then again, I should feel more pressed to actually do something. Sure, I keep upgrading my stuff and all. By the way, what's your range now? Is it basically back to base range now? If I had him running immediately, I don't get that. Okay, now there's like Cyclops or Giants on the enemy side, giving a bit of a fantasy touch. My gladiators are just so insanely tanky that they don't care at all. Here's the thing, is it worth just summoning my Minotaur? But it would probably not do anything. Oh my god, they have a huge health bar, but it does not matter at all. I have some serious concern about the balancing in this game. Sure, take another frost tower, another mine, and another power gun. Shop card? No, I don't want that. Pandora's empty box. Gain 500 gold per other artifact owned. All other artifacts are destroyed. Honestly, it wouldn't be the worst. Let it deal 25 more damage, lose 1 venom artifact. Sure, I take this. I lost the catapult one. That's kinda sad, because the catapult one was probably the best one I had. Oh no, I had two catapult one. Yeah, the catapult one that gave me damage was probably the best one I had. Sadly. But it's fine, I guess. Are they level 3 now? One of them is level 3, yes. Wait, I just realized it's level 3. That was unnecessary to get this. Where's more gold? There. Then the power one. It's really hard to tell what does the most damage. I feel like right now my gladiator is actually just a tanky. Like they're basically a wall as well as damage. Granted they're struggling now, so I think I'm gonna summon the Minotaur and the Beetle. Why did my Minotaur spawn behind the building now? He usually spawn in front of it. The problem is the Minotaur's level is really low, so I assume he doesn't have much health. But there's just no reason to summon him because the enemies don't even get far enough for him to probably approach them. I take the random ones. Just let's see what happens. And well, this was not level 3. If this was level 3, I would have said that's a bad card. But then again, I can also sell it, so fine. Creature cost is lower. It's 12 gold. Okay, maybe I should summon them then. Just to give them experience. The moment the first one starts moving, I'm gonna spawn the Minotaur. So that the Minotaur hopefully gets up. The Minotaur can't attack! The Minotaur's getting body blocked by the gladiators! Oh, that's so dumb. Why can a gladiator not, the Minotaur not attack over them? Like, look at his hammer and his arms. He should definitely be able to hit the enemy over them. That way he doesn't get any experience. That's so dumb. Okay, that's legit stupid. Gone. You know what? I take it back. I do have a really good reason to just press random. Sadly, my reason is that it legit does not matter and I don't care what I get. That's sadly the reason. Might as well summon them. At this point, I make so much money that I can just do that. Kind of awkward because I feel like I'm already at a point where money is not a problem, despite having not done much for that. Oh my god, the Minotaur's leveling. No, the Minotaur's getting body blocked again. Okay, now I can reach. And died immediately. I was worried for a bit, but then I realized it's fine. Plus 100 XP, level up 4, nice. Midas touch, oh well, I'm so rich. And tribute. The game is like, here, earn 7 times gold, and when you have that, increase your gold even more. Have fun. We hear you like gold, so here is more. Ego Minotaur. This theory I can just spawn a Minotaur because it stays until the end of this round, so because that's very important to my build. I think I could really improve that now. Build more. Because we're slowly getting to the point where they actually kill my gladiators. But I'm gonna have so much money after this that not after this round, but after the next one I can just buy whatever. Oh no, I'm gonna lose. Oh, this is funny now. Wait. Who's gonna win? The richest person alive? Or some giants? Why is this a thing? This is stupid. Why am I allowed to do that? Granted, you have to be really rich to be able to do that, but... Hey, look at that! I just repaired! You can't stop me! 1,337. I feel like I can just not... I think I've finished this game. I think I've done everything I can do. I got an elite amount of Nami. What can I say? I'm just that good. Just gotta take random cards because I can. Wait, I just realized I got to go before the shop, so I can just go shopping now. Another gladiator pit, another pounder, another ballista, power gun, just catapult, and I still have 1,400. The bank, sure. Gladiator pit, like catapult. Sure. I have a shit ton of cards now. I upgrade the gladiator pit because now I get probably stronger ones. At least I hope I do. I get a few more than before, that's definitely good, but... Ballista should be stronger. Don't think it increased the range. If they attack my temple, I think it can't. I can still heal my temple like 7 times or so. Oh no, I forgot. I didn't... Oh my god, I'm stupid. I didn't want to spend the gold in the shop because I had tribute. I completely forgot about that. Does it tell me how much it gives me? No. Only the 15%. I have to do the math myself. Shit. I could have done that with like 2.4k gold and I would have gotten... Now that I think about it, not that much. That's like 300 something on 2.4k. Like 360, that's actually kind of bad. Shit, I'm just gonna use it, it's nothing. Out of 30 gold, yeah, that's basically nothing. 15% is really low. Like compared to Midas touch, that is nothing. To go put nearby enemy death. Nice. I could increase the speed of an adjacent tower with this. I could place a catapult here. Wait, let me cook. I can build walls for now, just to force them to go. I guess I just build it here. Yeah. This way I force them to come here, and then I wanna go make them come to here, I think. So I can build another tower here, like here. And here is where I want them to walk past. Because think... Oh, this tower can't reach that far, actually. Ooh. Oh, I see a problem. Technically, I could... No, it doesn't matter, because... if they walk through here, you could still hit them, and because you bounce, you could damage them. Maybe if I make the path go like this way... Oh, it also doesn't have that much range. Yeah, I can't do another line here. The enemy has to walk through here, basically, because my towers don't have the range. This one's a really strong one by now, because it hits basically everything here and here, which is huge. I don't know when this was filled. I did not notice that. Guess I give you more damage. Like, way more damage. The pounder is now level 3, which is nice, and we're just gonna see what happens. I would have technically lost the last round. Granted, I did not use my power, which I should have probably done. Let's just use it. It's gonna damage them, it's gonna thin them out a bit. Then we spawn Eagle and Minotaur. Because I make so much money, I can just do that. Like, without having to think about it. And again, just buying a bunch of things, I'm already at the point where I'm pushing the enemy back. It just can't do anything against me. And every time I use the Minotaur now, it levels up. Another gladiator pit could be huge. More gladiators, more good. The range gun could be useful. Wait, does it apply to the bank? I don't think so, right? Does the bank count as a tower? I don't know why the shop refreshed. 5 waves. Was it already 5 waves? No, it was only 2. Wasn't it just a single wave or 2? I take another bolt tower too. And the power gun. Oh, apparently it was 5 waves. I did not notice. Pounder towers see 50% more damage. Not bad. Each wave grants 10 gold per artifact owned. Maybe that's good at the start, like as a second artifact. At this point, don't think. Pick 4 cards instead of 3 after each wave. What do you mean pick 4 instead of 3? I'm only picking 2. Huh? I mean, I'm gonna take it. This is really good. This is super strong because it's just a card for 3 every wave. But I never chose 3 cards, so... Huh? You are finished. You can get the upgrade. This bolt... Wait, is this level 2? Oh, this was level 2. Shit. Yeah, those are basically done. So I guess I could build one here. This gives me another 11 gladiators out of nowhere. Oh, where do I place the power? I guess I could place the power gun here. But I can only... Oh, shit. Wait, I could place it here. Maybe place a tower here, but it has to be a long-range tower so that it can hit over there. Technically, if I make the path go from here over here, I could then just make it go around. Or maybe not this path, because I can't place anything here, so maybe here. And then here, so this tower and the tower that I place here would still be useful. Yeah, let's do that. Technically, I could build a lot of walls to just immediately do that, but it would just increase the path I have to walk and make everything slower. And should as well. I use those two because the cost barely goes up at all. And at this point, I wonder if I can actually make the cost go, you know, down. Make them pay me. The Minotaur is really far away from everything. I do not like that. Does the Minotaur spawn there? Because there are so many gladiators. It's not going well. Let's do this. Oh no. Oh no. You know, I should probably just die, but I refuse. Not as long as I have money. That he got stuck there is really sad. Creatures 100% XP next wave. That's useful. Why does it say picked? Oh. Okay, this is kind of annoying now, because this description is not just misleading, it's straight up wrong. What they mean is, choose out of 4 cards instead of 3 after each wave. But what it says is, pick 4 instead of 3. For me, when I pick 4 cards, that means I click on them and I will get them. This should say choose out of 4 cards instead of 3 after each wave. Now I would like to know if this game is made by English developers or if this is a translation error. Because this game is, I don't know, originally in Italian. Or, well, maybe Greek. I take the catapult then. I don't have a reason to take anything here. I guess more Frost Tower, more good, and the Pounder I'm also gonna make use of. So basically I wanna use everything. Do I have a catapult that is not maxed? Yes. The Pounder here is maxed. Question is, probably here. I do not have the money to build the walls though, so it will literally do nothing here yet. But at some point, the enemies will go around it, and then it will do a lot. Will I survive until that point? That is another question. Just in case, I can slow them down around it. Wait, was this already level 3? This level 3? Yeah, okay. If not, that would have been it. Okay. I honestly doubt that I'm gonna live much longer, because these enemies are... Well, there are a lot, and I take a lot of damage. But to be fair, I could just do this. Which is really not good anymore, because it doesn't really kill anyone. But... maybe I can do it. It's mostly those giants that are a problem. Sadly, the Minotaur did not level as much as I hoped he would. No, we are fine, actually fine. I don't know why we are fine. I think enemies... I'm just gonna take that because I don't want any of this. Huh, that's a very sad shop. Midas Touch and a Bank. That's a checkpoint. Okay, never mind. Choosing random cards does have its use. It's just not always good. But when it's good, it is really good. So I don't understand why we finished that. Like, what was the difference? That I activated my ability earlier, which is, by the way, now really expensive. So we're at the point where using my power is not useful anymore. Like, summoning those two is so cheap that it's just always useful. Costs go up like 2 every round, or every time I use them, so that's nothing. The power doubles though, because I have nothing that reduces it apparently. Oh, actually I do, but it's not enough. No, I know what the difference is. My gladiators triggered earlier. And because my gladiators triggered earlier, they hold them near my towers. Yeah, that's the difference. Can I retry that? I want to know if this is completely random. Because if it's random, if my gladiators hold them here in the small area or here in the bigger part, makes a huge difference. That's like exactly what I was talking about earlier with what this is. Like, even a single man can defeat an army if it's in a narrow spot where they have to fight them one by one. And I think the enemies also body block each other, just like my units can body block the Minotaur. So, I think this might actually make a difference. So if it's really just random, but always the same, then fine. But if it's random in a way that now they might trigger earlier and actually win the battle for me, then that sucks. see. If they hold them here... Or maybe it matters if they're frozen. No, they just trigger way too late. Like, they trigger so late that the enemy is already past my towers, so they don't take damage. I should have placed towers here. But that's something I just didn't expect. I didn't expect it to work like that. Yeah, now they attack the main building. After they kill the Minotaur. And I just lose. It's gonna be the same every time. And with every enemy that comes, and every unit that dies, it's going faster and faster. That is stupid. Like, the difference between me completely crushing a wave and me losing is basically just when do my gladiators decide to attack the enemy. If they do it early enough and I move forward to hold them off here, I easily win because these towers just destroy a horde of enemies. But if they trigger late and don't do that, then it doesn't matter at all. I'm gonna wait until no more enemies spawn before I use my ability. I wanna see if using my ability maybe helps. Because it should get rid of a decent amount of health, and maybe that helps. Maybe if the first enemies die fast enough, my gladiators gonna decide to move here. The thing is, not all gladiators trigger, so it's only a small amount. So even if they do fight back and push them back a bit, it probably... No, it's not enough. Not nearly. Granted, the Minotaur apparently destroys those. This is looking way different already. My ability just doing that much of a difference. Yeah, now they're body blocking them right next to my strong tower. And for some reason now more enemies, gladiators triggered. This is super random. I don't get, like, why are they not fighting yet, but the ones that were further away do? Is it a line of sight thing? But then they would have triggered earlier too. So what is this? Like, the difference literally was just me using my ability, kill a few enemies first, and then randomly have my gladiators trigger and run towards the enemy. And hold them in an area where they are at a disadvantage. I mean, this is easily fixable by just having more gladiators, I guess. But it's also really awkward. Oh yeah, right, I had 600. Here's another complaint I have. Well, maybe not complaint, but something that makes me worry about the replayability of this. I already keep seeing the same towers all the time. And the same cards all the time. So it doesn't feel like there's a wide variety. There's also never the feeling of, oh, I have to choose between A and B now. Because I think I basically bought every tower. So far. I've placed basically every tower, so it doesn't feel like I have to actually think about it. Yeah, it just... like, also kind of awkward, because if I place it here or level this one up, there's literally nothing. I think on level 3 it gets a bit more than from... like, from level 1 to level 2 it just doubles. I think from level 2 to level 3 it gives a slight bit more than it does from 1 to 2. So the level 3 is worth, level 2 doesn't seem to be worth. If I place it right next to it or on it, literally no difference. In fact, I feel like the towers, leveling them up is not necessarily better than just having more towers. Which is a bit awkward. Because it only increases by damage, right? Let's compare it to this level 2. Oh, this level 3. 29. This one is 15. If I place another archer right next to him, then I have 2 archers attacking the same enemy at the same time, both doing 15 damage. If I level this one up, this one has, I don't know, 20 damage or whatever this one had on level 2. It also gets attack speed, so it is a bit harder to calculate. But unless it's attacking twice as fast... Wait, this is 1.8 second. This is 2.7. This is not even on level 3 twice as fast. Yeah, so it's not worth. It's not worth. Simple as that. It's as long as I can place another archer in a way that he attacks at the same time as this one for like 90% plus, just having 2 of them is better than having a level 2 one, stat-wise. That is kind of sad. Like, I feel like if I build a tower, it should be an upgrade. And not just be... Like, it should be better than just placing it. Increase the attack speed. Can I increase attack power? Yes. Can we spawn those two? I have enough money again to do the I just outlive everything strategy. Apparently my power did not go up in cost because it's still 400 something. That's awkward. I also still do not know how many waves there are, so don't even know where the end is. How do I even win a one? Like, is winning a one basically just live to wave 100? Like, I don't see any goal. Or is winning a one just get as far as possible? Like what counts as a win? Why not do that? By the way, now we have the situation again where they're held in an area where most of my towers don't hit them, so I'm slowly losing this. Luckily the Minotaur was really well placed. Barely took any damage and then decided, oh, let me just go front and die, I guess. I mean, I'm still holding them off. I have a lot of gladiators still. And the giants apparently are too big to pass them, or for some reason just fight them, so it's okay. But I wouldn't call this good. Force tower, power on, I just take random. Continue. A catapult. Sure. Now they get attack speed, 45%, that's really good. But I can't really do anything. I can use my power one last time and then never again. Which I guess I'm gonna do because I wanna win wave 30, but again I wanna wait until every enemy is... Oh my effing god! That is not very accurate. I don't think this exists in mythology. At least I don't remember that. Is that a boss? Is that the last wave? I was like, this is gonna be my last wave anyway because I'm gonna die. It's really slow though, so don't have to worry about it too much. They're pushing them into a good place. I just need the other ones to trigger. That would be really nice. Sadly they don't, so the enemy is gonna go into a really bad spot for me. They're attacking my building, so I basically lost because I forgot to... I can't spawn them. I don't have the money for that. Oh, I didn't pay attention. I could try again, but I'm honest, I don't think I can do it. Actually, one thing we can do, I don't really need this, but this is not gonna be enough. I don't think placing them does anything for me, so I need this much. Okay, now I have the Minotaur. Maybe that helps. In the moment everything spawned in, this guy spawned in a different place. They're also coming from different areas. Okay, this is apparently random. Even if we restart the wave. I think everything spawned in, so we can do this now. Which barely did any damage on the big guy, which is a bit worrisome. Minotaur is on the front line. This is exactly where I don't want him to be. But the Minotaur is my greatest damage dealer in this case. But he's also the one taking the most damage right now. He was basically fighting on his own, which is not good. Yeah, I think this is not looking good. Well, all my gladiators are now moving, but it's too late. They're already taking the temple. Is that Cthulhu? This is not very lore accurate. This does not exist in Greek mythology. At least I don't remember that. It's moonwalking. It was moonwalking. You know what? It's a really good time to end this. Main menu. Just curious. How do you end a one? I do new game. Starting a new game will erase your current save. Is there no way? Like, if I fail, do they just want me to retry until I finish it? Like, what do they want from me? There's no option. There's like quit, which I assume quits the game completely. There is restart. Wait, let me try something. Oh, right, I would have to do the wave again. Oh, that's stupid. Never mind. I was like, what if I do restart? Does it just restart from wave 1? Or is that what I basically do when I do a new game? Okay, I did not win the one. I would like to know what winning the one even means. The forest, by the way, did literally nothing. The forest was so far off that even if I would have made a straight line towards the forest, it would not matter at all. So this completely neglectable. I don't feel like this came into play or will come into play until like wave 50 or so. And at that point, you're probably strong enough to not have to care about the forest anyway. Or at least I assume you would have to be strong enough to not need to care about it, so can neglect that. Additional enemies, you don't have that on Zeus. The lightning strike, unless you get a lot of buildings that make it cheaper, like I did for the creatures. Like the creatures I could basically summon all the time. The cost went up by like 2 gold, which I increased my money faster than the cost went up. So I could basically do that all the time. The cost, on the other hand, got super expensive. And it's literally the only thing that Zeus does for me. So choosing a god feels weird. I also feel like strike all enemies on screen with lightning sounds on paper stronger than damage in one area. Unless this is an insane amount of damage, but because it completely lacks any numbers, I cannot tell if this is better or worse. It sounds worse because it's only in an area where I could also just hit everything on screen. Granted, hitting everything on screen also sounds better than a holy beam that pierces everything in its path, that I don't even know how that will work, because does it go from my temple to the spot that I select, or how would you do that? Also feels to increase enemy movement speed. I'm honest, I don't feel like the enemy speed mattered at all. Simply because, how to put it, them moving fast didn't feel like it matters because they already moved fast enough that most of my towers only hit them like once and barely did anything. The only thing that really worked was stopping them at the end with a lot of gladiators. Like basically make a living wall, like a wall of flesh with gladiators, hold them in a spot and then have a bunch of strong towers just shoot them over and over while the gladiators are just tanking. So I feel like if I would have just increased the health of my gladiators more and more, that would have been better. Now here's the question. A lot of roguelikes have like attack system, like you buy something that gives attack speed, which makes the game more likely to show you things that also give you attack speed or synergize with attack speed, right? Like I know that Potato does that. I think a bunch of roguelikes kinda do that to give you like some bias towards something to help, especially games that have a huge amount of cards. I don't think this game has that, and I also don't think this game has an insane amount of cards, so you're very likely to just see the same cards over and over and over. But at the same time, some essential cards that would have really helped me, like more health for gladiators or less power cost, they just didn't show up. I think I had the choice to take them a few times, but didn't. But at the same time, I don't feel like, there must be a card that I've never seen before. I can't tell if there's any more purple cards than the 2 that I saw. I don't think there's any way for me to see that. There's no glossary, there's There's no way of me telling... Yeah, there's no way for me to tell anything, basically. I feel like the game is not giving me enough info. It's very bare bones, which is okay. I think the last times I rated them on how well I think they are with mythology, I think I would give this game a 4. It clearly tries to be accurate. Granted, I'm not sure if catapults in that fashion that they had there was a Greek thing already. Actually, maybe that was already. Yeah, I think catapults are really old. I think the lightning towers are a bit destroying the immersion, I guess. Because how would that work? You know what I mean? The pounder is also a construct that looks very random. Like, that's definitely not something they did. Also a bit awkward. Why there's something that hits the ground and probably cause, like, you know, small earthquakes. Like, comparable to build small earthquake. Why does it cause bleeding? That's a bit... Huh? Maybe the bleeding is because they're, you know, using a stone and the stone is breaking when they hit the ground and all the fragments hit people and then they're bleeding. Maybe that's the explanation. It is a bit awkward. Also feels like it has nothing to do with the mythology. The gods that are in the title are really not that existent. They're more on, they're on paper. The god part is there. You can see blood. That's kind of cute. I also think everything looks really nice. It looks very cute. It looks nice. I think the idea is okay. I'm not a huge fan of the enemies just randomly spawning around you because they're all just going to the same path anyway. You don't know from where they are coming. It's not like next wave is gonna come from this area. Like there was a game, the last spell, where you also had to defend a town or like a ruin of a town, a bunch of wizards inside that ruin, and you were slowly building this, and it would also work in waves. It was like turn-based RPG kind of thing, where you had a group of heroes that you controlled and you had to defend everything. You could also build like ballistas and all that shit. So kind of similar to a tower defense game in a way, but the enemies were like turn-based, moving and stuff. And there, it did tell you from which direction the next enemies are coming, right? If they're coming from the top, the left, the right, the bottom, or like left and bottom, like that would tell you where the next wave would come from, so you could prepare. And this game just makes it completely random where the enemies are coming from, so you're just building a path from one side and just try to place as much into that as possible. I even feel like you could just place all your buildings that don't do damage in some corner of the map, because the moment you have enough money, which I clearly had, right? I had a lot of money. I could just place walls in a way that I don't need to use buildings for, because if I use a building, I can't place a tower there. But if I use a wall, I can just place the tower anyway. So the wall would help me create a path without taking away space that I might need for my towers. So it's a bit awkward. There's also no need to defend any buildings. Like I don't feel like I have to strategically think, because for some reason everything is just ignoring them. It kind of bothers me that this Minotaur has a shield now that I think about it. I sadly can't tell what units I get here. I wish I could just click. Wait, if I continue, it's always the same. Okay. Oh yeah, they keep their level. Wait. Oh. That's the meta progression. I forgot about that. They do keep their level. Huh. Now the thing is, they're only for one wave. So unless I do a similar build that makes the cost not go up, it's not really gonna help. So is the idea that you just try to level them as high as possible, fail the one, then go in again and you just have a really strong unit from the start? Is that just the idea? That's not really a cool meta progression though, because the meta progression basically only exists if I have enough money. If I don't have enough money, it just basically doesn't exist. Like, I am not stronger. Like, there's a chance that the next one I play, I'm weaker than now because I do not have a setup that allows me to summon the Minotaur every round. To defend, or to summon the Eagle that will then kill enemies on the way. The chances are that this meta progression does just not matter for me because I'm not in a position to actively use it. It would be nice maybe if the gods had... Like, here's the idea. Give the gods, like, each of them unique buildings, right? Like, maybe the lightning tower could be unique to Zeus. And then make it so that there's meta progression on the god itself. Like, they passively gain experience. Like, every wave you do, they gain, like, X amount of experience. And then they level up. And every time they level up, like, let's say every second level, you just get an upgrade to your god ability. And then every other level, you... I don't know, you either get a reward, like 50 gold on level 2. Not that's tiny amount, but I think... Because you would get that on your first ever played one, and like the second or third wave, it would be okay. Then level 3 god power upgrade, it just needs to be 1% really. Like a tiny amount, but it would make you stronger over time. Like at some point, your god is like level 50 and you get 25% more damage, which is a decent amount, right? And then like level 3 is like maybe a new building. Like every 10 levels could be a new building or so. Just something, because right now, I feel like I've already seen everything and I have no reason to play again. Which is actually kind of sad. But I would like to play it more. I had fun. I just... Also, maybe clarify what winning means. Like, how many waves do I have survived to win? That would be interesting. Just some data of... This tower did X amount of damage. Like, just at the bottom. Like, you have this huge window that's basically empty. Just filled with some numbers or some buffs that you can barely read. Maybe just at the bottom somewhere do like a... damage done last wave, right? So I can click on the tower and be like, okay, this tower did this amount of damage. So, is it useful? Is it not? Maybe if I killed an enemy, let me see their stats. Like, how fast do they move? How much defense do they have? And all that. Because I have numbers on my towers, but they mean nothing because I don't know how much health an enemy has. I don't know how fast they move. Like, I don't know if slowing them down does anything. Because if, let's say, freezing them would reduce the speed by 10%. That would be really strong against fast enemies, but enemies that are already kind of slow doesn't really matter then. And if they're all moving at the same speed, then it would kind of depend on how fast they move in general. Like, I didn't feel like, oh yeah, slowing them down is also seems kind of random. It doesn't slow down every enemy around apparently. Or maybe it needs to hit multiple times for certain enemies. It always seemed like only like 5 enemies got hit by that, even though it should be all in the area from the description. The artifacts are interesting. I can't tell how many there are, but the fact that I saw one multiple times also makes me believe that there are not that many. Maybe like 20 or so, 25. Which is okay. I just feel like the game doesn't have much. I feel like playing one round, getting to like, what was it, 29? I feel like I've seen most of it. I could probably optimize now, but here's the thing, everything is completely random. So I can't even say, let me go for an archer tower build, because it depends on my artifact. If I get only artifacts that make catapults better, then there's no reason for me to go heavy on archers, right? But it's the same thing. If the frost tower, for example, I had this upgrade from the beginning for frost towers, but I didn't see a frost tower until like wave 10 or so. So I basically chose an artifact at the start that was gambling and did nothing for me. So I don't know. I think it would be nice to, if you take like an upgrade for frost towers, just give it a side effect of it makes it more likely for frost towers to appear. Which again, the game apparently doesn't have that many cards, so it's also not important to do that. If the game had like way more cards, then sure, or way more units rather, and towers, then fine, I get it. The chance of getting the same one multiple times is so high because they're not that many that probably not worth increasing the chances. It seems like gladiators are the only units, like actual unit to defend your stuff, which is also a bit boring. I would have liked to have like units that are more attack focused. I would have liked to have units that are more maybe ranged focused, right? That have basically no defense and die immediately. But combined with a good front line or just lucky positioning around the temple and enemies having to walk past them. Also make them shoot over walls, obviously. But, you know, just that, and then they could do decent damage. That could be fun. And then units that are basically just a tank, a shield, a guy holding a giant shield, and then just like a phalanx, you know what I mean? It would not even be out of the, like, it would still be connected to them, so it would fit. Like something, just something. I feel like this game has potential, but it just lacks in some departments. I liked it though. Like, I would give it a 4 or 5. I had fun. I just feel like I've already seen everything in like 2 hours of playing it. That is clearly inspired by mythology though, so I give it that. It's... I would say I've seen worse, but I feel like the 2 games that I've played so far. Also, if you click quit, it immediately quits. It doesn't even ask you if you want to. I feel like the other 2 games that I played were like really good. Well, the first one I can't really judge because I don't know much about Slavic mythology, but Stray Gods was really good. And it had some interesting modernized characterizations of the gods, which was also nice. Because it was more like asking the question, what if you transport gods into the present and make them, you know, hide among humans? Which was kind of fun. They had good songs, but really good musicals. Well, the 2 that I had, I think, got a 3. And I had a clear favorite there. So it's a hard comparison. I think it's probably... Among all the games that I've played, which are 3 by now, in this series, I would say it's the worst, but I still think it could be way worse. It could actually try to be lore accurate to the myths, but fail. Which it doesn't. It's not... It's just taking units or designs from it, which works. Just a bit underwhelming, and it feels like there's not much variety, but that's fine. The game released yesterday, by the way. The game might get huge updates. Oh no, wait, this game is early access. I take back half of what I said. This game is early access. I take back like 90% of what I said about the lack of variety. Because this game is getting that over time. You know what? The moment this game goes into full release, or gets a huge update, I wanna try it again. Probably not gonna do it on YouTube. But I wanna try it again. And then compare it to how it was by now. Because I think the game has potential. It just needs more content. But for an early access that literally just released, that's okay. I think it's okay. It's certainly fun. It definitely needs a few updates, like just tiny things like tell me how much damage my towers did, for example, or make my god's choice feel more present. Like the fact that the forest was so far away that it didn't matter at all. And if enemies spawn on the opposite side of the map, it also was like, doesn't matter. I feel like the forest should have spawned around my temple. I mean, not exactly on the temple, but you know, like 2 or 3 tiles away for me to say, oh, okay, it's actually, you know, connected to whatever I built early on and not gonna be connected in like wave 50. Because at that point, what does it matter? Like, what does the forest matter? I could have just chosen another god and probably not felt the downsides at all. So that maybe, and definitely more variety in cards. Like, same towers over time. I also think that need to tweak the numbers a bit. Like, the pounder unless you like, even with slowed down enemies didn't feel good. It only felt really strong when I had a wall of gladiators block off the enemies. But I also feel like that's not it. I feel like that's not how it should be, maybe. Also think the cost of walls goes up a bit too fast, maybe. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it's not going up too fast. I placed quite a few and made a quite long path out of walls. But it could be a bit slower, maybe. I feel like at the point where it costs 50 per wall, I'm not really willing to spend much, because every time I place a wall, it also goes up, right? So if I place one, it's probably gonna be 52 or 54 or something like that. So it just place 5 more and you're already on like 60, 70, something like that. And at that point, do I really want to place more? Do I really? Either way, I had fun. I want to end now. Because it's late, I want to take a shower and then just relax for a few hours. Because tomorrow is gonna be horrible and I hate it. But anyway, thanks for being here, mythology, as always. Hope you have a wonderful day, night time, and I hope I see you again next time. I forgot to play my music. Hey. I'm probably gonna stream tomorrow. Yes. Not sure what I'm gonna do yet. But I'm gonna stream on the other platform. Anyway, I'm out. Have a wonderful one. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.